Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune. Joining me once again is Colin Mitchell, and today we are joined by North Texas defensive lineman Roderick Brown. Rod, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. It's 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. Talking
Mm.
North Texas football, man. Can't complain. You already got practice in for the day?
No, we had weights today.
Okay, wait today. I saw a video of you on Twitter squatting like 800 pounds. How much
Hey,
was that?
hey, it was probably 585.
Golly.
Light 585. Is that
Yeah,
is
light
that is
work.
that your I mean, I guess y'all don't go for PRs at this point or something like that, but is that like the normal weight you hitting?
Yeah, about the normal weight I do.
Okay. Is there anybody on the team that squats more?
Tayson Johnson.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. He
Yeah.
at 600 or what?
Yeah, he had 600 for real.
Okay. All right, so
Dang.
that gives you something to work towards.
Hey, facts. Somebody go compete against.
Yeah, Tayshawn. Well, spring ball, man. Well, first we can start off just what's it been like for you? Obviously new coaching staff. Um, how have you approached it, and just what's it been like?
It's been a big culture change. It's been very different. It's been a lot faster. Even though last year was fast, it's been a lot faster. Learned a lot of new things with the new coaching staff, new scheme, new techniques, a lot of new everything, and it's been going pretty well for me. I feel like it's been going pretty well overall as us as a team.
How do you think you'll fit in that new team? I mean, obviously, like you said, it's been very fast. So how long do you think it'll take you to get acclimated to that?
I should be ready to go by the end of spring. I've been catching up to all the new plays that the Coach Capone been putting in. Plus, Coach Gary has been making sure he's instilled in us to like focus on what's our job, alignment job, and technique. So
Yeah,
I feel like by the end of spring game, I should have about it. Every play we've put in, I should have it down.
yeah. You mentioned Coach Capone. What has he been like? Obviously, as you get to know him, get to know what he likes in the defense, just and how you kind of fit into what he wants to do.
He's a big culture guy. He's a guy who wants to get to know you. So I would say he's a big family guy as well. He's a nice guy, a guy who you want to be around, a guy who I want to be around and to coach me because he's like hard nosed. He's not gonna let you slack. If you slack, he's gonna make sure you pick it up. It's something that I like, something that I feel like we didn't have last year. So it's pretty good.
Now, for you individually, I mean, obviously, as a defensive tackle, you can move between nose, zero tech, all that stuff. Where do you feel like you're the strongest, where you make the most impact, whether that's, zero technique or lined up between the gaps? Just where do you feel like you're the most effective?
Me personally, I feel like um I'm lined up in between the gaps. So a three technique
Hmm.
or a two, I feel like I'm better there. But in this nose situation, I'm be able to make cause havoc due
Yeah.
to the new coaching staff and some coaching.
Yeah. That's always something I always wonder with defensive tackles is where they kind of see themselves because some DTs like being right over the center and really just get off the ball and hit them. So I know that's
Yeah.
a big point of emphasis there. Colin, what you got?
So Katie Davis left. Obviously, he was a big leader in the locker room. Do you have any pressure on you to kind of fill in that role in a way and kind of be a leader?
I wouldn't say it's any pressure, but it is a role that I'm looking forward to step up into, along with other guys like Larry. We got Nick Nasakawa, him as
Yeah.
well, Logan Wilson, some older guys who's already been on the team.
And how have you approached that going into this season?
I tried to first start into my D line room. So instead of like trying to become the big guy for everybody, I got to start somewhere small. Start talking more in the room, in the D line room, telling
Mhm.
guys get somewhere, be 5 minutes early, 10 minutes early. Don't be pressing for time, things like that. Small things, so I can work bigger.
Yeah. Um, on the defense, let's start with defensive line. On the defensive line, obviously you'll have a good amount of returners from last year. Uh, who are some players that you feel like either people aren't talking about enough, or that could surprise people going into the offseason, into the fall of this year?
I would say I don't know how to say his name, but we call him June, number 51. I think his name.
Oh, Fata yeah,
Yeah,
Avila.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wait,
We
what do
call
y'all
him
call him?
June. Huh?
What do y'all call him?
June, like
June.
Jun.
June.
Okay, Lejeune. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what we'll call him
So
too now because I don't know how to say his name either.
Yeah, same.
I feel like a lot of people not talking about June. He's a guy who last year stepped up for Enoch Jackson once he went down and took on that role and like really never looked back. Always work hard, physical, aggressive, fast. A guy who has a nose for the ball. Like he might spill a puller. Next thing you know, he on the tackle.
Yeah.
Like that's a guy that I feel like no one really speaks on it as far as our D line room.
How's Enoch looking getting back from that injury?
He's looking great. He done slimmed down some, Big Enoch. He done slimmed down a little bit. He's looking more fluent. He's working, being aggressive. Things I seen Enoch do since I got here.
You weigh more than him now?
Most definitely.
Okay, most definitely. Because on the roster you're at 275. I'm assuming that's not updated.
No.
Yeah. Okay. No, we getting 300.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
300 squat. Oh man, monster.
Absolute monster.
Yeah.
To kind of expand on Bruni's question about the D line, what about in the defense overall? Who do you think that is going to surprise people?
On the defense, Nick
Yeah.
Lasakawa and Logan Wilson.
Okay.
I feel
Yeah, I was
like
trying to figure. We were learning how to say Nick's name as
Yeah,
well.
and we've heard that. We've heard Logan Wilson a couple times actually, and when we've asked a couple people, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like those two guys, Logan, he really didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but he got some. But this year, with him being that starting role, especially him stepping up and becoming that leader that's needed since KD Davis left and a few other guys left, I feel like he's going to be a star. And then, Nick got hurt last year, so he got a big chip on his shoulder. And from practice and things that I've seen him do, I feel like it's going to translate into the game, and he's going to step up big for us.
Yeah, that's a good point because we've been looking at the safety position, like where y'all go with the safety spot, Deshaun Gaddy gone, all that stuff. So those are some good names for sure. I want to talk a little bit more about last year, the last couple years for your first 2 years.
Okay.
I remember when you committed to North Texas, I think Phil Bennett compared you to Aaron Donald out of high school, and obviously that's massive compliment to you. But what was your relationship like with Coach Bennett? And just what were the past couple years like for you?
I feel like my relationship with Coach Bennett, it was great from the start. He was like a grandpa due to the fact of his older age. So it's like I had much respect for the man. He always wanted me to be greater than what I thought I was. He always told me, "You're good, but you're not good enough." And I always took that to heart. I always tried to work hard for him, and I just loved him as a guy, as a dude.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit on this podcast, but it's like when there was a coaching change, and obviously the whole staff pretty much turns over, there weren't a lot of players that left. And a lot of the players, y'all have a ton of returners on this team for a team that had a coaching change. Why do you feel like that is? Why do you feel like there were so many players eager to come back and play for North Texas again?
I want to say the team chemistry, because we're doing this thing. It's called the 3 H's: your hero, your hardship, and your highlight. And now I've been listening to a lot of guys, and their highlight has been just being here and being around us. It's been a highlight of their days. So them waking up in the morning, they probably got something going on at home, something going on with their parents, anything. But them coming here each and every day, working with us, grinding with us, trying to become great with us, it's been their highlights of their day, which is my highlight of my day as well. Come here every day is a highlight of my day. So I believe it's just us as a group is the reason why ain't nobody left.
Interesting. Moving into the AAC, obviously y'all are going to be starting seeing SMU as conference rivals. How does that kind of light any fuel under the fire?
Me personally, I look at SMU as another opponent. The fuel of my what's gonna light any fuel on me is us winning the championship and us getting a bowl ring. That's the only thing I really think about. SMU is just a stepping stone that's in our way to me personally. As a team,
No, go ahead.
team, it might put a fuel on the fire due to the rivalry and things like that. So maybe.
Yeah. What was last year like for you and for the team? Because it's like y'all had the ups and the downs and the ups and downs, but then you find yourself playing in a conference championship game. And so it's like, you take the good with the bad, but you're here, you're in the championship game, and y'all are playing for something at that point. what was it like for you to go through those ups and downs that y'all did and still be playing meaningful games, down the stretch?
That's a good question. I would say when we had our ups, it was because we played as one. Everybody was doing their job. Everybody was aligned where they're supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be making the plays that they're supposed to make. And then our downs was really because it's our fault. I would say like we probably weren't making the plays we were supposed to make, or maybe we missed a tackle here, missed the alignment here, and it really wasn't just too bad for us. But for to see us go through all of that and go to the championship was big. Because growing up, I ain't never been to a championship. I ain't never won a championship. I've never won anything big. So for me to play in that, I had the opportunity to play in it was very big. And it was very big for us as a team due to the past of North Texas. So I feel like it's a big stepping stone. So now we got to get over that hump and win us one.
Does it feel like is that kind of like known knowledge or known throughout the team? Be like, all right, that's the hump. Like we got to get over either the championship hump or the bowl game, obviously hump as well. Is that like just like the motivating factor with the program right now?
I would say that solely is the motivating factor. I believe our motivation is us becoming great each and every day, getting 1% better. But that is something that we look at, and we take heed into.
I was gonna ask about I forgot what I was gonna ask. Colin, what you got?
I ran through all mine.
Oh, you ran through all yours? What'd you have? 3 written down?
I have 4.
4
written down.
Okay.
You're the question asker.
I know.
In this group.
I know. I'm a professional at this. All right, let's see. Y'all have spring scrimmage. Oh, I was gonna ask about the offensive line. So you obviously go against them, Gabe Blair, the whole guys. Like that's another group that has a good amount of returners on it. They've added some guys that tackle. What have you seen from the offensive line over the spring and just over the offseason that you expect from them moving forward?
I would say that they've gotten better each and every day, and they're the reason that we want to be better. So I would say that this O-line is, I don't know, because Manasseh Mose was on the last O-line.
Yeah, Manasseh was there.
And
he was
so,
but you get new pieces.
I want to say this O-line is a little bit better than last year O-line due to the fact that everybody that's starting on the O-line has experience and has been through some games and got some games under their belt. So I want to say this O-line is a little bit better because last year for Betsy Weewu, he was brand new to it. Jed Duncan played tackle, which he never played before. Yeah. But this year they switched some guys around. I think it's gonna be something to watch out for. Them boys be moving.
Who's one of them? Who's the one that gives you the toughest time?
Oh, Gabe Blair every day.
Gabe Blair.
Every day.
I remember. It's a battle. Were you in the same freshman class as him, right? Y'all were freshmen at the same time? Yeah, I remember when he was a freshman and all the coaches or everyone was like talking like, damn it, he came in as a freshman, like lifting more than everyone on the offense and stuff like that. Just like he was a monster coming in.
Thanks.
So that's good because I feel like he's a little overlooked in the big picture things. Like he might be one of the best players on the team this year.
You got a big point there.
I actually have one more. So every time we've had a player on the podcast, we always ask them 2 like side questions not related to football. One, do you have like a hobby that's like, that
like Jalen Darden? Like Jalen Darden used to play video games a lot.
Yeah, Fortnite a lot. Big Fortnite guy.
Jalen Darden was crazy.
DeAndre Torrey loved bowling. And then do you have like a talent, like a talent that's not football related? Like, are you good at like another sport, or do you have like, can you juggle like anything like that?
So my hobby, I'm an in-home guy, so I like to watch movies, sit down, relax, keep my feet up. Hey, be on some big boy things.
Of course, yeah. Got like the ribs right there, something like that.
Bowl of M&Ms. Hey, you never know. But then I'll say a hobby I have. Your boy just got on the shot put team, so be on the lookout.
Oh, you throwing shot put for North Texas?
Yeah.
Oh my
dang!
God. Did you do that in high school?
Yep.
Okay.
I went to state in high school.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm excited now. I guess I'm looking forward to. Well, when are you gonna? So are you doing that this semester?
Yeah. I went to go try out yesterday.
when's the meet? When's the first meet?
So they've been having meets. So, but
Yeah.
my first meet is the week after spring game at Texas Tech.
Okay. All right.
Dang, that's awesome.
Damn, that's cool. That's way cooler than DeAndre Torrey's bowling hobby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. You said you've never won a championship. You didn't win anything in Pop Warner or nothing?
No, I've always lost.
Dang.
Damn, this man's got a big chip on his shoulder, man.
Yeah.
I big one. I gotta give me one before I get out of here.
You gotta get a ring. Gotta get a trophy. You need something.
Something.
Last thing before we let you out. It looks like your dad's on Twitter a lot.
Here he go. He get my interviews too. God, leave.
I just see him. He's tweeting. I don't even follow him either. I think he either gets retweeted or just shows up on my For You timeline. I don't know what it is, but I gotta ask Rod about his dad. So has he always been a big Twitter guy, or is it just for you in North Texas?
He jumped on Twitter once I became a freshman. He's always been there. He's always been active in all my sports, everything I do. But Twitter, he just became that type of guy y'all see.
That's great.
But he always been funny though. I'm gonna give him that. He always been funny.
That's awesome.
But he just became a tweet bird.
That's good.
That's great.
All right, man. Well, I think that's all we got. We appreciate you for joining us.
Thank y'all.
We'll have to get you on closer to the season again and talk to you about how it's looking in like July or something like that. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thank y'all for having me.
For sure. Appreciate it, Rod.
No problem.
All right, Colin, let's talk about what Rod said, and then we'll get into some spring game stuff moving forward here. What was the most interesting thing?
I think
from
two things for me was the O-line being better than last year, because I thought that was kind of not a big question mark for both of us, but it was like out of all the position areas on offense, that was the one where it was like, okay, well, I'm not really sure, especially losing Mose. And then Logan Wilson, a linebacker, I thought that was really interesting as well. Obviously, I think we've heard the name a couple times, but I didn't really think that it would be a jump where he would do more than, role player type of stuff. So I think that those are two very interesting things to me.
Well, you think about like the safety just really of like the safeties of last year, because these obviously haven't been updated. If you think wherever Logan Wilson plays, did he say linebacker?
Yeah, he said after KD left.
Yeah, that's kind of how he said it, but I don't know if that meant he was playing linebacker.
See, that's what confused me, because I was like, all right.
Well, you should ask him to clarify, Colin. Should ask him to clarify.
He's just an athlete.
Regardless, like the safety position, we had so many question marks, but now it's like we heard Reed say Phil Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've heard, I think JD and Rod have said Logan Wilson. Now both have said Nick Nakwasa. Like we've heard those. We still know about Harold West. We still know about Dylan Williams. So now it's like, okay, Logan Wilson's going to start because Rod just said he's going to start. So you can put that in pin in the starting lineup. We assume either Phil Hill or Nick Nakwasa is going to start alongside them.
Mm-hmm.
So the safety positions actually went from a big question mark to being something we can put to bed, I think, a little bit. So that's going to be interesting there. What was the other one you talked about?
O-line.
O-line
being better.
He was kind of hesitant to say that, but I think.
But I think hesitant at the same level even too. I think that would not be surprising, but it would be, like that's a very good sign in my eyes, especially when you're facing these bigger teams.
Yeah, I mean, they'll start Gabe Blair, right? Then it gets interesting because you have like Dazion Carroll still there. You still have Jet Duncan, who he mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
You have some other players, and then you have the transfers at tackle, so on and so forth. There's just a lot of questions. I mean, I'm cool with him saying that, but I still have some question marks on the offensive line outside of Blair.
So what are you looking for going into the spring game when you look at the O-line? How would you want them to perform against North Texas' defensive line?
I would expect the defensive line's better.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what I'm pretty confident saying with Rod Brown. Well, obviously we have to see the scheme, and everything, but if Rod Brown and then he called him June, which I guess we're just gonna call him that now because
completely fine with calling him that.
Fatafehi Velia is not easy to say, nor do I know if I'm saying it right. So you got June, you got Enoch Jackson if he's back, Rod Brown, Chris Wright as an edge, Mason Richards back, Tayshawn Johnson, who we talked about, Portland Rossall back. It's a talented group. I will say though, which I think we should talk about a little bit, is Cam Robertson entering the transfer portal. That it is substantial there to have a very, very highly rated player out of that class to leave. But I still stand by what we said. They still have not had a huge exodus of players.
Well, even Rod said that. He was like, they're just tight knit, which I mean, I guess makes sense. I guess why stay for any other reason? But it's really interesting to see how good. I'm not saying the culture was bad, but like how each of these players regard North Texas in terms of like what they want to do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I think the Seth Luttrell era, the one thing I gave him credit for was keeping the team together during the lows.
Especially the last 2 years. Especially the last 2 years.
There have been very, very low lows, and Luttrell's been able to keep them engaged, keep them together, and you have to give him credit there in that he's built a culture strong enough to where he is fired, and they're still together. They still align. They still want to be at North Texas. So a lot of credit there to the former staff, but a lot of credit to the players as well. So it's I mean, Rod Brown squatting 585, Tayshawn Johnson squatting 600.
How much? What do you squat? You go to the gym right now. What do you squat? Yeah,
max. I have to think about that. Hold on. How much is 2 plates on each side? 99, 180, 225. I think I could probably, if I'm absolutely maxing out.
Yeah, 1. Almost.
I can do more than 2 plates for sure. Give me 2. I'll just be safe. Give me 260.
Yeah, see, I'd be like a 180 guy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, probably. I think I could hit that. Maybe I'm misled and maybe I can only do 2 plays, but I can definitely do 2 plays. So 225 there as a baseline. And you go from there, but
not 600.
Not 600, let's just say. That is a different type of a human.
Yeah.
Right there, squat 600. It just doesn't it look fun being a defensive lineman at times?
I mean, he was saying you squat a lot of weight, you lift a lot of weight, and you just sit and watch movies and eat M&Ms. It sounds like
that's exactly that's
great.
what all the defense.
He's like, coach came in and says, "Hey, listen, man, you're 275. You got to get to 300." He's like, "All right, light work."
Colin wishes that was him. Colin wishes he could get to 300. Colin was pushing 300 a few years ago.
Pushing 300, pushing 200.
Now look at you. All right. What else do we want to see? Anything else from the Rod Brown interview before we move on?
I don't think so.
I mean, him doing shot put's crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm actually like, I feel like unrealistic. Oh, I can't think of the word. I'm too excited for that when I shouldn't be, because I've never watched track and field. But like now I want to know. Now I'm invested.
He was like, I tried out last week. You know, next meet is after the spring game, or the first meet is after. I was like, okay, yeah, all right, man, whatever you say. Okay, let's talk about spring game. It's April 22nd. By the time we record the next podcast, I don't know who we're having on next podcast, but we'll dive into it a little bit closer. But in general, we should also talk about they had their first scrimmage. And good old Brett Vito put out the stats of all the quarterbacks, Colin.
Oh, I saw that, but I forgot the stats.
I texted it to you.
Yes, that's where I saw it.
Scroll up a little bit.
It's far, so I'll just look at Brett's.
Let's overreact to some quarterback stats. How about that?
I know Stone Earl had a lot.
Go just look it up. Just scroll it up. Do you not have it? Do you need me to get it?
Scroll really far up.
We have not texted that much. I promise.
All right,
it's literally right there.
We definitely haven't. I didn't realize it was Saturday.
I
didn't realize it was the chill out.
Literally right there. Oh no! Wait, one more up. Right there.
Chill out. All right. Let me read
Final
these
UNT passing.
Let me read these off for everybody. Final UNT passing stats, unofficial.
Per Vito, which is unofficial, but we'll assume he can count.
Chandler Rogers 5 for 9 for 24 yards.
Yeah.
Stone Earl 6 of 11 for 137 yards and a touchdown. Jace Reuter 3 of 5 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. Grant Gunnell, 1 of 2, 5 yards. JD Head, 3 of 7, 20 yards.
All right, let's overreact.
Can't wait to overreact.
Grant Gunnell, 5th?
No way, right? Like,
Wow.
no way, right?
He had 2 passes, Colin.
Fair enough.
Somebody in the replies, comments, tell me why he only had 2 passes.
That's what we should have. That's what we should have asked Rod Brown about. Nothing about the defensive line.
Quarterback. We should just grill him about the quarterback situation.
So tell me, I mean, I think my biggest overreaction is honestly Stone Earl, 6'11" for 137 yards.
I feel like we knew Stone Earl was capable this whole time
as a passer. Not only that, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, and you'll know probably more than me, is I'm pretty sure they posted like a video of him like rushing for like 30-something yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So
is Stone
Earl actually number 2?
Thing is, we haven't seen Chandler Rogers run, which we need to. I'm assuming maybe Earl's a little bit faster, but I would assume Rogers is decently close to him in terms of speed. So it's not like the legs of Earl are the big difference here. He's more willing to run, but he's not per se, this crazy athlete here. The big thing to me is attempts. Why Grant Gunnell had 2 attempts doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, under JD Head.
I don't want to look too far into it, but JD Head was 3 of 7 at least, had 7 dropbacks to throw. Now again, maybe some of those are screens, maybe those or whatever, but Gunnell's 1 completion was for 5 yards.
Yeah.
This is a guy who is known for throwing the ball, has a big arm, 6'6", like can do a lot of things. 1 for 2 for 5 yards. I don't know.
Yeah.
And even if they were like, if it was 2 3-and-outs or something like that, where the run game got stuffed, it still just doesn't quite sit right with me why they wouldn't either put him out there again. It feels like, and I don't want to oversimplify it, but it probably is a new coaching staff trying to see what they have, right?
Yeah.
But still, Chandler Rogers, you brought him here, I think on paper should be the quarterback 1.
Listen, 5 passes for 24 yards hurts me in the inside.
And I need the interception numbers.
That's a good point. Did anyone get it? Well,
did anybody throw a pick? That's a good question. But if we're just basing off this, my new quarterback ranking.
Okay.
I'm still going to stick with Chandler Rogers 1.
Well, you said based off of just this.
No. But take this into consideration with everything.
Okay.
My Bruni's quarterback power rankings. All right, make the graphic. Chandler Rogers 1. Stone Earl 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets tough. This is where it gets really tough. Because, do we really believe Jace Ruder has turned any sort of corner based on a 3 of 5, 68-yard, 2-touchdown performance?
Against a secondary we know nothing about.
You look at this. Ruder and Gunnell are 2 4-star quarterbacks out of high school.
Does that kind of blow your mind?
They are legitimately
Grant Gunnell was on that graphic we talked about a couple podcasts ago.
They were legitimately top 150 type guys. I don't know that for sure about Jace Ruder. I'd have to pull up his. I don't think he's quite that high, but you get the picture.
Yeah.
You get the picture. Number 3, I'm sticking with Grant Gunnell.
Okay.
Number 4, Jace Ruder. Number 5, JD Head. That's the official Bruni's power ranking of quarterbacks. We will have one every week.
All right. What are the chances Stone Earl becomes number 1 off of these? Because Vitch, remember, he got a lot of run last year for a guy that we thought could only run. Are we giving it
look?
Give me a percentage.
I'm still putting it as Rogers' job to lose.
Same, I agree. But
if he loses the job,
yeah,
it very well could be Stone Earl.
What's the percentage chance in your head?
15.
15. I was gonna say 18. So
Okay, cool. I don't know why you were being so specific, but yeah. 18. So those are the passing stats.
Yeah.
In general, in the spring game, what I want to see, well, besides the quarterbacks, because obviously we have to see the quarterbacks at this point. I do want to see offense line versus defense line. I would love to see how, center position tackles for the offensive line, all that stuff. I think defensive line, we pretty much know what we're getting. The only thing we don't know is the schematics,
Yeah.
which is more of an us thing than it is, a them thing. I'm sure they're comfortable in their schematics, but for me, I want to see it. Uh, the cornerbacks, I think secondary as a whole is an interesting spot. I'm confident in the linebackers. I don't think we need to see linebackers. Don't need to see them. Running backs don't need to see them. Receivers don't really need to see them. I mean, Tommy Bush and Jair Shorter and the whole gang is all back. Rod Burns is all back. So, Travion Brown, so on and so forth. They got guys back at receiver. We know. So, what do we not know about this team? We don't know about the secondary, the offensive line, quarterback.
I kind of want to also see who's going to be the number one back, like running back as well.
But you're not going to learn that in the spring game. You're going to have the same stat, just like the quarterback stats we just have. You're going to have
that's true. That's
six players with
especially if Oscar's
carries.
not ready, because we don't know. So.
Exactly. You're going to have all these players with 6 carries and be like, okay, what do we make of this? But I think it would surprise me if Oscar Adaway didn't look like he was ready. That would surprise me. So
yeah,
we'll see. They did add a tight end.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. We just glossed over that, huh?
Yeah, we glossed over it, even though we talked about it with JD last time. Literally the last time he was on, or the only time he was on, he brings that up, and now
Joshua Smith.
Yeah, Joshua Smith. College of the Canyons from Tampa, Florida. So junior college, 6'2" tight end, 230 pounds. I don't have anything of substance on this matter, but it's good they picked up a tight end because this is what we were talking about. They need a tight end. As much as I like Christian Lee, you need another tight end that can step in and play. So I'm excited for that. So it checks off a little bit of the tight end room, but we still need to see it. I'm not sure if he'll play in the spring game. Who knows? Probably at this point in the year, probably has to go finish up maybe academics or whatever at his prior school and go from there. But yeah, I think I feel a lot better about them there. It feels like with me, they're still going to pick up a couple more portal players or portal or JUCO players.
What position would you like to see the most?
From the portal?
For me, I'd want...
At this point in the it's going to be hard to get started. Like, they don't need real starters, I don't think.
I know. It'd be a depth thing.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'd want linebacker.
Okay, yeah.
And then safety is like a fail-safe.
I'm trying to look at the cornerback depth chart here. We know about Rich Tejada. We know about Lorenzo Thompson. We know about mobility. We know about John Davis. We know about... Those are pretty much the 4 that I know the most about. I think corner, you could use somebody there.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting one there. Okay. All right, Colin. That's it. That's all we got. Unless you have something else. Good?
Yeah.
You've been all right lately?
Yeah, I just got back from a bachelor party again.
Yeah.
Story time with Colin?
No.
All right, fair enough.
That was a long weekend for you. Whew.
Let me tell you, going to a whiskey tasting is the weirdest thing in my life. You wake up at 9 a.m., whiskey, and then you go to another one at like 1 p.m., whiskey.
Were you drunk?
It was basically like wasn't like drunk, but it was like a above buzzed state for like 2 days.
Y'all did whiskey tasting for 2 days?
Or bourbon tasting, yeah. So we went to like 9 a.m. on Saturday, went to Maker's Mark, and then went to another one at 1, and then went to another one at 3, and then we drank after that, and then we wake up against the next day 9 a.m. and it's like So
did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was honestly surprisingly, I won't say surprisingly fun, but surprisingly enjoyable to get a tour of a whiskey place, because I wouldn't think that those would be enjoyable outside of drinking the alcohol at the end.
Yeah, you were skeptical.
I was skeptical, but here we are.
Well, now you know what you got to do for your bachelor party.
I did dip. Maker's Mark, one of them. You're able to. They're all hand dipped in wax, so I got to hand dip a bottle in wax. I
Do you
bought
keep it?
Yeah, I mean I had to pay $20 for it, but I'm never gonna open it, so it's just gonna sit there.
Maybe when you're like 80.
60 years ago, I did this. Maybe when I'm 80, the last thing I ever drank before I die.
Yeah, or that it kills you.
Or it kills me. There you go.
All right. That's all we have for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed the interview with Rod Brown. Leave us a like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate all the support. I believe we're at 197 subs on YouTube. So let's get to 200. If you're watching this, press the subscribe button. Send it to a friend. Tell them to subscribe. All that good stuff. I'll tweet it out. And yeah, we appreciate the support on Twitter as well. All those tweets have done a great job. Ross Hodge hired Phil Forte, former Oklahoma State great from Flower Mound. So that's really cool. Don't have anything special on that. Maybe we'll get him on a podcast. But yeah, that's all we got. Thank y'all for joining us, and we will talk to y'all later.